All right, let's dive into this. You ready to go deep on the Harley-Davidson Iron 883?
Oh, absolutely.
It's funny. I think when a lot of people hear
Yeah.
Iron 883, they think that classic cruiser look,
Yeah. That Harley look.
But is there more to this bike
Oh, there's definitely more to it.
than just image?
Absolutely.
What do you think?
Well, I mean, image is a big part of it, right?
Oh, sure.
It's a Harley Davidson. It's got that,
Of course. Yeah.
that kind of that legacy behind it,
Yeah.
that history. But it's also a
Yeah.
really capable machine, I think.
Hmm.
What's interesting about the Iron 883 is it bridges
Yeah.
the gap between sort of that old school
Okay.
Harley vibe and what more modern riders want.
Right.
It's got that heritage,
Hmm.
but it's also, like I said, it's a functional bike.
So it's not just a pose.
It's not just a pose. No.
Okay, good. Yep.
Under the hood,
Yeah.
you've got,
Let's pop the hood.
pop the hood.
What are we looking at here?
You've got the 883cc
Okay.
Evolution V-twin engine,
All right.
air-cooled,
Okay.
which again adds to that
Classic.
that old school feel.
Yeah.
But believe me, it delivers on the performance side too.
Okay, so it's not just about that sound,
No.
which we all love.
It's got the sound,
Humble.
but it's got the performance to back it up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's get into some numbers then.
Yeah, let's get down to the nitty-gritty here.
Okay, what are we looking at in terms of horsepower, torque, all that good stuff?
All right, so horsepower, you're looking at about 50,
Okay.
which, may not sound like a ton compared to some,
Right.
sport bikes out there.
Yeah.
But with the Iron 883,
Yeah.
it's not about raw power.
Okay.
It's more about
Right.
controllable, enjoyable riding experience.
How about it?
And where it really shines is in the torque.
Okay.
You're looking at 54 foot-pounds of torque.
Wow. Okay.
So that's what gives you that sasatisfying push.
Right.
When you twist the throttle,
Yeah.
you really feel it.
I can only imagine. I'm not a big motorcycle person, but I
It's
appreciate the
Yeah.
the power
That's
that you can feel.
Yeah.
But we're talking about this power and this torque.
Yeah.
Is this a bike that's accessible?
Yeah. That's a good question.
New riders,
Because,
to people who,
sometimes those cruisers can be a little intimidating,
right?
especially for new riders.
Yeah, it can be big,
They can be big, yeah.
heavy.
And heavy, exactly.
Yeah.
But the Iron 883 is surprisingly accessible.
Okay.
The seat height is only 25.7 inches,
Okay.
which means
So that's pretty low.
it's pretty low, yeah.
Okay.
It's great for a wide range of riders.
Got it.
Even those who might be a little bit shorter.
Right.
And on top of that, it's only 564 pounds,
Okay.
which is pretty lightweight for a cruiser. Oh.
So it's relatively easy to maneuver.
All right, so we've got the power.
Yep.
We've got the accessibility.
Uh-huh.
But I think a big part of what
Yeah.
draws people to this bike is the look.
Absolutely.
It's the style.
Yeah.
It's got that stripped down,
Mm.
almost raw visual style.
Yeah, it's funny you say that because it really does embody that
Yeah.
bobber aesthetic,
Okay.
which is all about minimalism
Mm.
and functionality.
Okay.
So you're thinking, blacked out finishes,
Yeah.
low slung frame.
Mm.
That single seat,
Yeah.
that really emphasizes
Like a solo rider.
a solo rider vibe. Exactly.
It's like a rebel yell
It
in
is.
motorcycle form.
It is like a rebel yell
Yeah.
in motorcycle form. I love that.
But we're talking about this
Mhm.
like stripped down, almost rugged look.
Right.
Is it actually comfortable to ride?
You know what? You might be surprised
Okay.
because all of that ruggedness,
It's actually pretty comfortable.
really?
Yeah.
Okay.
That low seat
Yeah.
combined with those mid-mounted foot
Yeah.
controls and handlebars
Okay.
actually puts you in a pretty relaxed riding position.
Hmm.
It's designed for cruising,
Okay.
not for,
So you're not hunched over.
not for being hunched over
What, on a sport bike or something?
like you would be on a sport bike.
All right. Exactly. So comfort's there,
Yeah.
but is it a one-size-fits-all kind of deal?
That's a great question. And it
Uh-huh.
kind of leads into
Yeah.
what makes the Iron 83 really special
Okay.
is that it's not one size fits all.
Okay.
It's incredibly customizable.
All right.
Yeah.
So you can really make it your own.
You can absolutely make it your own.
All right. So tell me about that. What
Yeah.
kind of...
I mean, the possibilities are pretty much endless,
Okay.
but you can swap out handlebars,
Okay.
add bags, change the exhaust. I mean,
So there's a ton of
the sky's the limit.
aftermarket stuff
Tons of aftermarket stuff.
available.
Yep.
All right. So
Yeah.
you can really go wild with it.
You could go wild.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
But no matter how you customize it,
Right.
you're still getting that core
Yeah.
Harley-Davidson durability.
Is that smart?
Like these bikes,
Absolutely.
they're known for lasting forever.
That's one of the things Harley's known for, is building bikes that last.
Right.
Yeah.
So talk to me about that.
Well, the Iron 883,
Yeah.
it's built on a really solid foundation.
Okay.
The frame is robust. They use really high-quality materials.
Okay.
And the components are designed for the long haul.
Right. So it's not a...
It's an investment.
It's an investment, yeah.
Yeah, it's not something that's going to,
Right.
fall apart after a couple years.
Right.
It's something you can ride for years and years.
Okay. Good to know.
Yeah.
So
Right.
we've got a pretty good sense of the Iron 883 itself.
Yeah.
But how does it measure up against some of the other
That's a great question.
popular cruisers out there?
Yeah, because the cruiser market is...
Like a friendly competition here?
Yeah, it's a crowded market.
All right.
There's a lot of great bikes out there.
So where do we even begin?
Well, I think...
Who are we comparing it against?
Let's start with a classic contender.
Okay.
The Indian Scout 60.
Ooh, the Scout 60.
Yeah.
Okay.
A classic.
I know it's got a slightly bigger engine
Yeah.
than the Iron 883.
It's got a 989cc engine
Okay.
compared to the Iron 883's 83.
Got it.
So you get a little bit more power there.
Okay.
It puts out a very respectable 78 horsepower.
Okay.
But like the Iron 883, it still has that classic cruiser aesthetic.
Right. So it's got that look.
It's got that look.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got this classic competitor.
Uh-huh.
What about something a little more modern?
Okay, so for something more modern,
Yeah.
let's talk about the Honda Rebel 1100.
Okay, the Rebel.
Yeah.
Our-
This one's
A
a
little bit of a wild card.
bit of a wild card, yeah.
Yeah.
It's got a much bigger engine.
Okay.
It puts out a pretty hefty 86 horsepower.
All right, so significantly more.
Significantly more
Yeah, than the 8083.
than the 883.
Okay.
It's also lighter
Okay.
than the Iron 883.
Interesting.
And it comes with some pretty cool tech features.
Okay.
Like you have the option for a DCT transmission,
Okay.
which is essentially an automatic transmission for a motorcycle.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. That's
So
pretty different.
it's a very different riding experience.
But does it still have that like cruiser soul?
Yeah, that's a good question.
You know what I mean?
Does it still have that soul?
Yeah.
I think it's definitely a more modern take on the cruiser.
Yeah.
But it still manages to capture
Okay.
some of that cool laid-back vibe.
All right. So it's not like a
And I think
very different beast.
I think for riders
Okay.
who are looking for a blend of performance and technology,
Mhm.
it's a really strong contender.
Got it.
And you know what else?
What?
It's actually more affordable
Oh, wow. Okay.
than the Iron 883.
All right. So we've got classic, we've got modern.
Uh-huh.
Is there a good option for somebody who's maybe just starting out
Yeah, good question.
with cruisers
Yeah.
and
Wants something that's not
wants something that's
good break the bank.
more budget friendly?
Exactly. You're thinking of the Kawasaki Vulcan
It's
S.
Vulcan.
Yeah.
Okay.
This one's known for being really budget friendly
Okay.
and having a very comfortable riding position.
Mm.
It's also got adjustable ergonomics,
Okay.
so you can kind of
Okay.
customize.
So you can fine tune it.
You can fine-tune it
Yeah.
to your body type.
Okay, great.
Yeah. And it's powered by a 649cc
Okay.
parallel twin engine,
All right.
which strikes a good balance
Mhm.
between power
Yeah.
and fuel efficiency.
Okay. So practical, affordable, comfortable.
Yeah.
Where does it fall short compared to the 8083?
Honestly,
Yeah.
it lacks the iconic styling
Okay.
and the brand prestige of a Harley.
Right.
It's a solid bike, but it doesn't have,
Yeah. That same.
that same aura,
Yeah. Or is a good word for it.
Yeah.
Okay. So we've got this lineup of contenders here.
We've got a good spread.
What are your initial thoughts
Hmm.
on these bikes?
Well, I think it's fascinating how each of those bikes
Yeah.
bring something different to the table.
Right.
They really do, appeal to different kinds of riders.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah.
But I'm curious, like with the Iron 883, what do you think it is about this bike that draws people to it?
Yeah.
Is it just that Harley-Davidson name?
I think that's definitely part of it.
Right.
Harley-Davidson
It's got that
has this mystique,
cachet. Yeah.
this legacy,
Mm.
that's really hard to match.
Yeah.
But I think it also goes deeper than that.
Okay.
I think the Iron 883
Yeah.
taps into something emotional for a lot of riders.
Like what?
It's about that feeling of freedom.
Okay.
of independence, of being on the open road.
Right.
And escaping
the daily grind.
Yeah, escaping the everyday grind, exactly.
It's almost like it's more than just a motorcycle.
I think it is.
It's like a statement.
It's a statement.
It's a lifestyle.
A lifestyle.
A lifestyle.
A way of life. Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah.
And I think the design of the bike really reinforces that.
Okay.
You know?
Let's talk about...
Let's break it down.
Yeah, let's break down the look.
Yeah.
Like, where do we even start?
Where do we start? Well, I mean, you can't miss that blacked out finish.
Right.
Harley went all in.
Blacked out everything.
On the blackout treatment with the Iron 883. Engine exhaust pipes, handlebars, I mean, you name it.
Yeah.
It's probably blacked out.
It's got that, like, tough guy look.
It does.
Yeah.
It creates this really sleek, almost menacing look.
Yeah, it's got that bad boy vibe.
It does.
For sure. And then you got that low-slung frame, which gives it that, like, aggressive stance.
It's like it's crouched down, ready to pounce.
Yeah.
You know?
At the panther.
Yeah, exactly. And then you've got that.
like a bulldog, you know?
Yeah, a bulldog.
Yeah.
And then you've got that classic solo seat.
Right.
Which, you know, further emphasizes.
It's got a minimalist look.
That minimalist design.
Yeah.
It's all about stripping away anything unnecessary and focusing on the bare essentials.
It's like a motorcycle haiku.
I love that. Motorcycle haiku, yes. Yeah. You know, one thing that really stood out to me in the articles we read was how much Harley emphasizes the rider-focused design of the Iron 883.
Right.
You know, they really seem to have put a lot of thought into how it feels to actually ride this bike.
Okay. So it's not just about looking cool.
No.
It's about
the experience of riding.
The actual riding experience.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
And that's crucial for a cruiser. You know, you're not buying a cruiser to break speed records.
Right.
You're buying it to cruise.
To enjoy the ride.
To enjoy the ride.
Yeah.
Feel the wind in your hair.
Exactly.
So comfort and ergonomics are essential.
So we've talked about the low seat height, but what about some of the other features?
Yeah.
What makes it so comfortable to ride?
But I think those mid-mounted foot controls play a big role.
Yeah.
You know, they encourage a more relaxed riding posture.
Oh.
You know, you're not leaning forward like you would on a sport bike.
You're sitting back.
You're sitting back, feet slightly forward.
Yeah.
And just enjoying the ride.
Soaking in the scenery.
Yeah, it's soaking in the scenery.
Feeling the rumble of the engine.
Feeling that rumble.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Just enjoying the journey.
Enjoying the journey.
Yeah.
And the handlebars are designed to be ergonomic.
Okay.
So, you know.
So your wrists don't get tired.
Yeah, your wrists and arms don't get fatigued.
Yeah.
Even on longer rides.
So it's comfortable.
Yeah.
It's stylish. What more could you ask for?
Right.
But wait, there's more.
There is more.
We got to talk about customization.
Yeah.
You mentioned earlier that the Iron 83 is like a blank canvas.
It is.
Why is that such a big deal for riders?
Well, I think for a lot of motorcycle enthusiasts, customizing their bike is almost as important as riding it.
Okay.
You know, it's a way to express their individuality.
It's like self-expression.
Yeah, it's self-expression.
Yeah.
It's a way to make their bike truly their own.
Yeah.
It's like a rolling work of art.
Right. It's like taking that self-expression to like the next level. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So what are some of the popular ways that people customize their Iron 883s?
I mean, possibilities are pretty much endless.
Yeah.
But some common mods include, you know, swapping out the handlebars for a different style, adding saddlebags for more storage, upgrading the exhaust for a throatier sound.
Gotta have that sound.
Gotta have that sound, yeah.
Yeah.
And then, you know, maybe changing the seat for either more comfort or a different look.
And I bet there's just tons of aftermarket accessories available.
I mean, you can find everything.
You can really go wild.
From custom paint jobs to unique lighting setups to performance upgrades.
It's amazing how a bike that's designed to be so stripped down and minimalist can also be so versatile when it comes to customization.
I think is a testament to the enduring appeal of the cruiser platform. You know, it's a style that's been around for decades.
Yeah.
But it continues to evolve.
Right.
And adapt to
the changing
tastes of riders.
Tastes. Yeah, exactly.
Well, speaking of standing the test of time, Harley really emphasizes the build quality.
They do.
Of the Iron 883.
Yeah.
They talk about, you know, that robust frame, the high-quality materials, the reliable components. Do they live up to the hype?
I think they do.
Yuck.
You know, Harley-Davidson has built a reputation for making motorcycles that last.
Yeah, you don't hear about them falling apart.
You don't. No, you don't.
Right.
And I think they understand that people who buy their bikes see them as investments.
Right.
Not just vehicles.
Not something you're going to trade in.
Did you trade in?
After a couple of years.
After a couple of years, exactly.
Yeah.
It's a buy it for life kind of mentality.
Yeah. And the Iron 883 is built with that in mind.
Okay.
It's meant to handle daily riding year after year. And the components are designed to go the distance.
So it's not just a stylish bike.
No.
It's a bike that's built to last.
It's a bike that's built to last, exactly.
All right, so we've talked a lot about the Iron 883 itself.
Right.
But let's revisit those competitors we talked about earlier.
Yeah.
How do they really stack up against the Iron 883?
Okay.
You know, when you really get down to it.
The cruiser market is full of great bikes.
Yeah.
But I think the Iron 883 definitely holds its own. Let's start with the Indian Scout 60. We know it's got a bigger engine, more horsepower than the Iron 883, but what else?
Yeah, what else should we consider?
Should we consider? Well, I'm curious what the overall feel.
Yeah.
Does it have
that same
raw, almost primal Harley-Davidson character?
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering. Does it have that like
a tough one?
That same energy?
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I think the Scout 60 is definitely a more modern bike.
Okay.
In terms of its engineering and technology.
Okay.
It's liquid cooled, for example.
Okay.
Which helps
keep the engine cool.
Keep the engine running at a consistent temperature.
Okay.
And it's got a 6-speed transmission for smoother shifting and better fuel economy on the highway.
So it sounds like it might be a bit more refined.
A little more refined.
A little more polished.
Maybe a bit more polished.
All right. Yeah.
But whether it captures that same raw, visceral feel as the Iron 883 is a matter of personal preference.
Right. You gotta feel it.
You gotta feel it to know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so what about the Honda Rebel 1100?
Okay, the Rebel 1100.
That one seems like a real departure.
It is.
From the traditional cruiser.
Yeah, the Rebel 1100 is definitely a more modern take on the cruiser.
Okay.
It's got a parallel twin engine.
Okay.
Which is known for its smooth power delivery.
All right.
It also comes loaded with tech.
Okay. Like what?
Things like cruise control.
Right.
A slipper clutch. And you can even get it with that DCT transmission we talked about earlier.
Yeah. All the bells and whistles.
All the bells and whistles.
Yeah.
And it really makes for a very enjoyable ride.
So you think
the Rebel 1100
does a good job of kind of like bringing the cruiser into the modern age?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think the Rebel 1100 shows how the cruiser segment is evolving. You know, it's still got that cruiser look.
Right.
But
it's updated.
It's updated.
Yeah.
It's more practical for everyday riding.
Okay.
And it appeals to
a broader range of riders.
Yeah. Exactly. And don't forget, it's significantly more affordable than the Iron 883.
We talked about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we've got the classic contender.
Right.
We've got the modern Marvel.
Right.
What about
the Vulcan?
The Kawasaki Vulcan S.
The Vulcan.
What are its strengths and weaknesses?
Yeah. How does it
compared to the Iron 883?
Yeah. How does it stack up? Yeah.
Well, the Vulcan S is a great entry-level cruiser.
Okay.
It's known for being comfortable and having those adjustable ergonomics.
Right.
You know, so you can
really fine-tune the fit.
Really fine-tune the fit to your body.
Yeah.
Plus, it's powered by a 649cc.
Okay.
Parallel twin engine.
Right.
Which strikes a good balance between power and fuel efficiency.
Okay. So, practical, affordable,
comfortable.
Where does it fall short compared to the Iron 883?
It lacks the iconic styling and the brand prestige of a Harley.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't have that.
It's a solid bike, but it doesn't have, you know,
same aura.
That same history.
Right. It's interesting how each of these bikes kind of appeals to a slightly different type of rider.
Yeah, it really showcases the diversity within the cruiser segment.
Yeah.
There's truly a bike out there for everyone.
It's all about finding the one that speaks to you.
It is.
That fits your style.
Yeah.
Your needs.
Your needs.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's about finding a bike that captures a feeling.
Right.
A certain spirit.
Yeah.
You know?
And the Iron 83.
And the Iron 883.
This definitely has that.
Definitely has that.
You know? Yeah. Okay. So we've taken a good look at the competition.
At the competition. Yeah.
Now let's talk about the Iron 883 itself.
Okay.
You know,
let's get down to
what are some of the things?
The brass tacks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That potential buyers should really consider.
Okay.
So it's decision time. You know, we've explored the Iron 883's soul. We've looked at the competition.
Yep.
We've talked about what makes this bike tick.
Right.
Now I think it's time to lay it all out.
Yeah.
The good, the bad.
The bad and the ugly.
Yeah, all that stuff.
Everything in between.
So you
can really decide if this is the bike for you.
Yeah, can you see yourself riding this thing?
Exactly.
So let's start with the positives.
Okay.
We've covered a lot of ground already, but I think it's worth reiterating.
Yeah.
What makes the Iron 883
absolutely
stand out from the crowd?
Well, that iconic styling is undeniable.
Right.
You know, it's a head turner, instantly recognizable as a Harley-Davidson.
It's got that look.
It's got that look, that classic cruiser look. The blacked out finishes, the low slung frame.
Yep.
That solo seat. It just oozes.
Yeah.
Cool, you know.
It's like a bike that says something about the rider.
It does.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. It says, I appreciate tradition.
Yeah.
I value craftsmanship.
I'm not afraid to stand out.
Yeah, I'm not afraid to stand out. Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's not just about looks either.
Right.
The Iron 883 is genuinely fun to ride.
Yeah.
You know, it's relatively lightweight, easy to handle.
Yeah.
Whether you're navigating city traffic or cruising those winding back roads.
And that 883cc Evolution V-twin engine.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
that's a gem.
It delivers that smooth, predictable
power.
It's a bike that feels approachable.
It is.
You know, very approachable to both new and experienced riders.
Yeah, it's not intimidating.
Yeah.
You know, for someone who's never ridden a cruiser before.
Right.
It's not going to scare you off.
And speaking of approachable, you know, the Iron 883, designed with rider comfort in mind.
Absolutely.
We've talked about that, low seat height.
Yep.
But you combine that. With the mid-mounted foot controls.
With those mid-mounted foot controls.
Those ergonomic handlebars.
And the handlebars.
Man.
You're in for a treat.
It really makes for a relaxed and natural riding position.
It does.
It's the kind of bike you can ride for hours.
Yeah, you can ride this thing all day long.
Cramped or fatigued.
Exactly.
And of course, there's that legendary...
I can't forget about...
Harley-Davidson.
Harley-Davidson build quality.
Build quality.
You know.
Again.
This is a bike that is built...
They're built like tanks.
Built to last.
You know.
Yeah.
All right, so we've got iconic styling. We've got a fun and comfortable... riding experience.
Yeah.
And a reputation for durability.
Yeah.
It's a pretty compelling package.
Yep.
But as we said, no bike is perfect.
No bike is perfect.
What are some things that potential buyers should be aware of?
So what are the downsides?
Yeah, what are the downsides? What are we sacrificing?
If you're planning on long-distance touring with a passenger, the Iron 883 might not be the ideal choice.
Okay.
You know, it's not really designed for those kinds of adventures.
So not a touring bike.
Not a touring bike.
Okay.
It lacks things like spacious luggage compartments.
Okay.
A really comfortable passenger seat.
All right. So if you're riding solo,
you're
probably fine.
But if you want to take a passenger,
if you're going on a big trip,
you might want to look at something else.
Maybe not the best option.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's not exactly brimming with advanced rider aids.
Okay.
You know, you won't find things like traction control or standard ABS.
Yeah.
Which are becoming pretty common on modern motorcycles.
So it's a little bit more old school?
It is a little more old school.
In that
sense.
Okay.
And while that air-cooled V-twin engine gives you that classic Harley rumble.
Yeah.
It does come with some vibrations.
Okay.
Especially at higher speeds.
So that's something to keep in mind.
Yeah, something to consider.
If you're going to be...
Especially if you're planning...
on the highway a lot.
Yeah, on longer rides.
Okay.
And let's be honest.
Yeah.
Harley-Davidsons come with a certain...
They come with a price tag. Yeah.
You are paying.
You're paying for that.
For that heritage.
That
iconic brand name.
The name.
Yeah. So it's a premium.
It is a premium...
motorcycle.
Motorcycle.
Okay, so we've covered the good. We've covered the bad.
We've covered the good. We've covered the bad.
We've covered the pros. We've covered the cons. Now it's time for you.
Right.
To really think about.
It's decision time.
Yeah.
You got to think about.
What matters most to you?
Yeah, what matters most to you as a writer?
As a writer.
You know, what aspects of the Iron 883 resonate with you the most?
What are you drawn to? Yeah, are you drawn to that classic styling, the reputation for reliability? Or maybe it's the potential for customization that really excites you.
Or maybe it's something less tangible.
Yeah, you know, it's a feeling.
A feeling or an emotion.
An emotion.
That this bike evokes.
Yeah.
You know?
Take some time to reflect on what the Iron 883...
What it represents.
Represents to you.
Yeah.
And if you're seriously considering...
Yeah.
Taking the plunge.
Remember,
there's no substitute.
Yeah.
For firsthand experience.
You gotta.
Go for a test ride.
Go for a test ride.
Yeah, feel that rumble.
Feel the wind in your hair.
Feel the wind in your hair.
And see if the Iron 883... see if the Iron 883
lives up
to the legend. To the legend.
Well, that wraps up our deep dive.
Yeah.
Into the Harley-Davidson Iron 883.
I think we covered it all.
We hope you've gained a deeper understanding of this iconic machine.
Yeah. And that it helps you make the right decision.
Absolutely.
For your writing journey.
Until
next time.
Ride safe.
On the deep dive.
And keep the rubber side down.
Ride safe and keep the rubber side down.